Hello and welcome to Evolve by Erica, the podcast. I am your host, Erica Polsinelli, and we gather here to talk about all things spirituality, high vibrational, spiritual awakening, 5D, and beyond. I am so grateful you are here. Come on in. Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode. This is the first episode I'm recording after the launch of the new website and the app. And I just want to chat and tell you guys all about this because I feel like this is my place to really connect and just chat with you one-on-one, or so it feels. So about last year, the end of last year, I was approached by this platform to go live with an app. And at first I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready. But then it became very clear that it was time to grow and expand. And change is scary. And with really big decisions, that's when I can be a little indecisive. But this push just kept calling me. And it was really for you guys, of course. Like, I really wanted you to have more accessible meditations, have that accessibility of an app, and or at least an app-like experience, and just level up together. So we've been working on this since December. Starting in December, and I thought it was going to launch for the new year. Then I thought it was going to launch for the 222 portal. Then I thought it was going to launch more March 1st. Then I thought it was going to launch April 1st, but it ended up being a really powerful day, the 12th of April, which was the Jupiter and Neptune conjunction in Pisces. And that week was all about elevating spiritually and energetic upgrades, and there you go, right? So I feel that everything is divine timing, but I have to say it was definitely challenging to get all the information over, and there were a few things here and there that popped up, but at the end of the day, everyone was so positive, handled the changes so well, welcome them with open arms and gratitude. And I'm always grateful for this community, but this past week just reminded me how incredible you guys are and how we've attracted and created such a beautiful community of elevated people, understanding people, and multidimensional individuals. So I wanted to express my sincerest gratitude and just tell you a little bit about the app and what it offers in case you are not a member. So I started to share meditations through my website in 2018 or 19. I think it was 2019. And I have to get back to you on that. No, I'm trying to think. And I did this because I was working a full-time job. I needed a way to start stepping into my purpose. And something I am very good at is just taking action when I get those messages. So I started to record videos, post them on my website, and it was just like a very easy process. My website manager made it very easy for me. If you need a website manager, I would love to share his information with you. He's incredible. So we grew and we've developed different categories. Not only are there meditations, but there are movement-based meditations now. There are short meditations under 10 minutes. Then there are even shorter meditations and like the 5-minute marker for audio meditations that you can listen to anywhere, anytime. You could go on a walk. You could listen in your car as long as you promise to not close your eyes and pay attention to the road. There are journaling prompt meditations. And as I evolve, it's interesting. I get very, very clear guidance on where I want to go with this and what I want to share more of. And lately, what's really coming up is these audio meditations, making this energy accessible anywhere, anytime, and sharing just these little energy shifter moments that we could take for ourselves, even if it's 4 or 5 minutes, and just get into this right headspace to attract all that we want to. So with the app, we also have our live meditations, and they will all be shared and stored right on the app. So there's no more Zoom links that you have to go back to or find in your inbox. It's all going to be streamlined onto the app or the browser. If you don't have an Apple, I am working really hard towards getting it on Android as well. But for now, the browser experience is seamless, and it is just like the app only in a browser. You could store your information. Every time you open it up, it saves what you've already watched, it saves your favorites, and so on. So I'm very excited, and that this whole process has really led me to want to talk about a conversation on perfectionism. So that's what this podcast today is really based around, because this is one thing that I've really learned over the years. I've seen so many people I've worked with in the past really wear perfectionism or type A as a badge of honor, and how incredible it is to be a perfectionist, and like just really highlight that as their strength. And I have to say, as being a business owner now and a content creator, I know that I can make things a lot better, of course. But I think that if I was to depend on or wait for everything to be perfect, I probably would have never launched anything, because nothing is perfect. And it's 100% progress or progression over perfection. So, perfectionism, I feel, is something that could really get in the way of our solar plexus. And if you're a perfectionist, or you feel like you're type A and you're listening to this, I want you to take a deep breath, because I'm going to give you some tools that are going to help you to be more accepting of where you are and where some other things are in your life, so that you can start taking steps towards them instead of waiting for the perfect moment. So, as I was developing and creating this app, there was so much to get done. And I have to be honest, I still feel like there's so much I want to do. When I launched it, I did not feel like it was the ideal of perfect in my mind. I still have ideas for it. There's still little colors and little tab markers that I'm going back in and changing. So you will see minor changes throughout probably forever, because I'm hoping to always evolve and always change and always improve. But when I decided to launch it, I knew it wasn't perfect, but I knew it was perfect timing. I knew that it needed to get out when it did. And I knew that if I continued to focus on all the small details, I don't know if I would ever get there in taking the action steps. And I think that also transfers a lot into our purpose, or into something that we've always wanted to do, but never actually took the step to do. It could be our purpose, it could be a relationship, it could be just a hobby that we're trying to go after. And I think it's so important to embrace the imperfectionism in our souls, as us as human beings. We are all very, very far from perfect, but we're perfectly imperfect. Together with all our imperfections, that is what makes us unique, and that is what helps us to, when we can embrace it, it could help us to take the steps that we need in order to get to where we want to go. So I shared before about the solar plexus, so I want to talk a little bit about that space. The solar plexus is the area in front of the rib cage. It's in between the heart chakra and the sacral chakra, the navel point. And the color that's associated with that chakra is yellow. And so by eating yellow foods, by wearing yellow, by what else can you do with yellow? Maybe using some essential oils like lemon, or any others that really bring in that essence of like citrus and yellow energy. You can help to strengthen the solar plexus. And when we get our solar plexus unblocked and in alignment, we could start to take action towards the life we want and towards our goals. But if we have a block there, you might feel like you have all of these ideas and so much inspiration, and not actually able to put them into creation. And that can be a sign of a weak or blocked solar plexus. So in order to unblock that, like I said, you could eat yellow foods, you could wear yellow, you could surround yourself with yellow things. You can also practice Kundalini, of course, specifically the Nabi Kriya. The Nabi Kriya is a really powerful Kriya that works the whole digestive system. It completely resets the whole entire body. It will make you so strong. It's definitely an ab workout. I think I've shared about this before, but it will help you to align all of those lower chakras, so you could really step into where you want to be and where you want to go. So I think it's so important in the life that we're living in the society that we're living, being on social media all the time, seeing the highlight reel of everyone's life, living in a time of filters and beyonds. Understanding that what we see and what we consume on the outside is usually the best of what people think they look like or their life looks like. They are highlight reels, and there's nothing in life that is perfect. And when we start to compare ourselves and think that someone else has a perfect life, you just haven't spent enough time with them. You haven't had time to get to know them, to understand the challenges that they've been through, the struggles that they've been through. And anytime we start to compare and we start to compete or we start to look beyond ourselves, we confuse ourselves. I always share that Kundalini quote, compare, compete, confuse, because that's exactly what it does. Perfection, I believe, only exists in nature. And if you look around in nature, there are so many imperfections. But nature's able to be embraced for exactly what it is. And we are nature. And we have to learn how to come back to that and embrace ourselves for how we speak, how we look, how we act, the things that are natural to us. They may be far from perfect, but we need to embrace that part of ourselves. And when we can embrace that part of ourselves and lean into those imperfections and feel that our imperfections are what make us unique and give us our strength, that's when we can really take steps forward into our truth, into our truest essence. I want to take a moment to highlight a sponsor of this podcast, Meadow and Bark. Meadow and Bark is a skincare product line and also a storefront in Long Beach in the West End where I live. And the moment you walk in, you just feel the energy. It is just organic, natural decor, and that reflects right into the products they create right there in the studio, or the glow lab as they call it. And I've been using and sharing these products for a while. I'm all about clean skincare that comes from nature. I believe nature has everything and more that we could ever need and want. I am right now absolutely loving the PM Ritual. Something I'm loving about it is the toner, the glycolic toner, because I really feel like it helps me to shed and exfoliate any of the dead skin that's on my face so I could get a really bright and glowy appearance. And I follow that with the Adaptogen Blue Serum and the night cream, which is so enriching. And I've just truly fallen in love with these products. So I'm so grateful that they are a sponsor. They are offering you guys a code for 30% off, which is Evolve30. You could visit meadowandbark.com and use code Evolve30 for 30% off. I highly recommend the PM Ritual, but you really can't go wrong with any of their products. I also would highly recommend the body oil and the facial mist. The natural fragrance is the same in both of those products. So if you could only buy one, choose what you are really guided to and get one of them, because the fragrance is just, I keep telling them to make a perfume or an oil scent for all day of this scent because it is that good. So go ahead, if you're local, visit Meadow and Bark in the West End or visit them online. And I would love to hear about your purchases, and I would love to hear how you enjoy the products. So in this moment, I want you to take time to bring awareness to something that you feel is imperfect about yourself. And I want you to start to feel into how that thing, maybe it's an insecurity or maybe it's just something that always comes into your awareness. How is it that that makes you unique? How is it that it makes you beautiful? How is it that it makes you powerful and strong? And I would have to say, I think one that I would bring in for myself would be not being a perfectionist. And in my other career, this was kind of seen as something that wasn't a strength, but I've come to learn in this career and in this space that it has helped me so much. It's helped me to take action towards my goals. It's helped me to not think too much and just go with my gut. So I want you to bring in something that you feel like is imperfect about you. And I want you to bring the energy of strength around it, of uniqueness around it. How is it that that makes you unique? How is it that that might actually be a strength working for you in this lifetime rather than working against you? And as you do that, I just want you to breathe in acceptance. Breathe in the feeling of accepting that or yourself exactly where you are. And feel that in every cell. Tell yourself that you love that aspect about yourself and you're sorry for ever doubting it. And just take a long, deep breath, coming back to that moment. And exhale it out and let it go. So as I said earlier, if you identify with perfectionism, if you identify with type A personality, that may be your strength and that might be okay. But when you feel like it's getting in the way of you going after your goals or taking action or that creation, then something might have to change. I truly believe that by strengthening our solar plexus and by tuning into meditation as much as possible, we start to stress less about the little things and the details, and we start to have more perspective around the bigger picture. So just by tuning into yourself, by meditating, by being aware of when you feel that voice inside your head come in, your ego say, up, that's not good enough. You're now reminded to take a long, deep breath and know that you, exactly how you are, exactly how you choose to show up, are good enough. You are good enough. And as a quote unquote content creator, or just someone that consumes content, which we all are, going on Instagram and seeing other people's content and how they show up and their hair may be done and their makeup may be done and they're looking amazing and flawless and gorgeous. And that may be the way you want to show up and that may not be the way you want to show up. And at times it's hard. At times it's hard to not get into that comparison mode, but just staying authentic to you. Whenever we do what feels really good for us, that is where we're most successful. However we feel, I thought about it. I'm like, I should really shower. I should really put makeup on before recording this podcast. But I said, forget it. No, I'm not showing up as my most perfect self. I'm showing up as my most authentic self. I was guided to hop on to film this, and that's how I'm going to do it exactly in this moment. So taking time just to call yourself out, to bring more awareness on when you are holding yourself back from stepping into your truth, taking aligned action. Be more aware of it. And in those moments, you could take a few seconds to see, is this a thought I need to lean into, or is this a thought that's actually getting in my way? Because it could be a thought that's aligning you as well. It could also be a thought that's getting in your way. And our ego is really good at keeping us comfortable and keeping us safe and bringing in thoughts of perfection. It's just not good enough. That's a really nice way to stay comfortable, to not go outside the lines, to stay exactly where you are. And sometimes we just need to set ourselves free and say, you know what? This is how I'm choosing to show up. And I'm going to put this out there. And I know those who are supposed to receive it will receive it. And that could be for any aspect of your life. So I hope you enjoyed this short, sweet podcast, a little bit on perfection and how you are perfect just as you are, just as you choose to show up. Sending you so much love, light, acceptance, and empowerment today. Thank you so much for joining me, and Sat Nam.